today we are talking about the illusion of waiting, and I'm going to deliver a rampage of clarity and give you something that you can listen to pull yourself into the vortex, to tune into the frequency where everything that you want and desire is waiting to burst through the doors, all for you. Let's begin. I want you to act as if it is already yours. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when the world finally agrees with you, but now, right now. Because the greatest secret is this: reality does not create belief, belief creates reality. The moment you begin to think, feel, and move as the one who already owns the empire, something shifts. Something invisible yet undeniable begins to rearrange the world around you. You must understand an empire is not built first in the outer world, it is built in consciousness. Long before the crown ever touches the head, the mind has already accepted it. The throne is taken in imagination before it is ever seen in form. And if you dare to assume that you already possess it, to walk with that quiet certainty, to think from the end instead of toward it, then the unseen forces of life begin their silent work. Most people wait for evidence. That's probably what you've been doing too. They say, when I see it, I will believe it. But that is why they remain where they are. You must reverse it. You must believe it so deeply that the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. When you wake up, you do not hope to be powerful. You know it. When you speak, there is no hesitation, only authority. When you act, it is not from lack, but from ownership. Feel it. Feel the weight of the empire already resting in your hands. Feel the confidence, the stability, the unshakable knowing that nothing can take it away from you because it was never outside of you to begin with. It was always a state of being. And once you occupy that state fully, consistently, without doubt, life begins to echo your assumption in ways that seem almost magical. You are not pretending, you are selecting. You are choosing a version of yourself that already exists and stepping into it. And when you do, you'll notice something remarkable. Your decisions change, your posture changes, your voice changes. Even your silence carries power. You no longer chase opportunities, they begin to recognize you. There will be moments when the outer world tries to contradict you. It will show you reasons to doubt, reasons to shrink back into the old identity. But this is where your power is tested. Will you return to the old self, or will you remain loyal to the one who already owns the empire? Because persistence in the assumption is what hardens imagination into fact. Do not look for permission. Do not wait for approval. The world does not grant you your empire. You claim it within, and the world simply follows. Walk as though the path has already been cleared. Speak as though your voice already carries influence. Decide as though success is inevitable. The moment you stop postponing your power is the moment your life begins to change. Most people live as if their greatness belongs to a future date, as if success is something waiting at the end of a long road. They tell themselves, one day I will become that person. One day I will rise. One day I will have it all. But that one day is the very illusion that keeps them trapped, because power does not respond to someday, it responds to now. The identity you are waiting to become must be assumed in this very breath, in this very moment, without delay and without condition. To act now means you no longer negotiate with doubt. You do not ask the world for permission to step into your higher self. You simply decide. There is a quiet boldness in that decision, a silent declaration within your mind that says it is already mine. And from that instant, everything begins to shift. Not outside first, but within you. Your thoughts carry a different tone. Your inner conversations lose their hesitation. You stop speaking as someone who is trying and start thinking as someone who already is. Right now, as you're hearing this, you have the ability to step into that version of yourself, not by changing your environment, not by waiting for resources, not by achieving something first, but by assuming it internally. Feel what it would be like if the empire were already yours. Feel the certainty in your chest, the calm authority in your mind, the absence of fear in your decisions. There is no rush, No desperation, no need to prove anything, only a grounded, unshakable knowing. When you act from this place, your behavior transforms naturally. You no longer hesitate in moments that once made you uncertain. You no longer shrink in the presence of challenges. You begin to carry yourself differently, not because you're forcing confidence, but because you have accepted a new identity. And identity is everything. It shapes how you think, how you speak, how you respond, and ultimately what you experience. This is not about pretending in the shallow sense. It is not about putting on a mask or fooling yourself. It is about aligning with a deeper truth that the version of you who already has everything you desire exists right now. And you can choose to become that person by embodying their state of mind. The outer world may not immediately reflect it, and that is where most people give up. They look around, see no evidence, and return to their old way of being. But the one who understands this principle remains unmoved. Acting now means you no longer let circumstances dictate your identity. Instead, your identity begins to dictate your circumstances. You wake up with intention, not hope. You move through your day with certainty, not doubt. Even in silence, there is a presence about you, a quiet confidence that does not need validation. You are no longer chasing the empire, you are expressing it. There is a powerful shift that happens when you truly accept that it is already done. You stop overthinking, you stop questioning every step. Decisions become clearer because they are no longer filtered through fear or lack. You begin to choose what aligns with the person you have become, not the person you used to be. And with each aligned decision, you strengthen that identity even more. The world may not immediately understand this change in you. It may even try to remind you of who you used to be, but you must remain firm. Acting now requires persistence. It requires you to stay faithful to your new self even when the old reality tries to pull you back. And this is where transformation truly happens. Not in moments of ease, but in moments where you choose your higher identity despite what you see. As you continue in this state, something remarkable unfolds. Opportunities begin to appear in ways you did not expect. People respond to you differently. Situations begin to align. It feels as if life itself is adjusting to meet you at the level you have chosen. And in truth, it is. Because once you change within, the outer world has no choice but to follow. So do not wait for the perfect time. Do not delay your transformation. There is no future moment where you will suddenly be ready. Readiness is created by decision, and the decision is simple: to act as if it is already yours right here and right now. Everything you experience in this world is first born in the unseen realm of belief. Before anything takes shape in your life, it has already taken form within your mind. People often assume that reality is something fixed, something external that must be accepted as it is. But that is the illusion that keeps them limited. What you consistently believe, deeply, emotionally, and without resistance, becomes the blueprint from which your life is constructed. Your belief is not just a passive thought, it is a living force. It influences how you interpret events, how you respond to situations, and how you see yourself in relation to the world. Two people can stand in the exact same circumstance yet experience completely different realities simply because their beliefs are different. One sees opportunity and the other sees limitation. One feels empowered, the other feels defeated. The outer world has not changed, but the inner perception has. And that makes all the difference. When you truly grasp this, you begin to understand that nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it. Every situation becomes filtered through your inner assumptions. If you believe you are powerful, capable, and destined for something greater, then even challenges will appear as stepping stones. But if you believe you are unworthy or limited, even opportunities will feel out of reach. The world is constantly mirroring back to you the story you are telling yourself. This is why belief must come first. You cannot wait for life to prove something to you before you accept it as true. If you do, you will remain stuck in a cycle when nothing changes. Instead, you must dare to believe in something greater than your current circumstances. You must hold on to that belief even when there is no visible evidence to support it. This is not blind hope, it is conscious creation. There is a difference between wishing and believing. Wishing is weak, uncertain, and filled with doubt. Believing, on the other hand, is steady and grounded. It does not beg or question, it knows. When you shift from wishing to believing, you stop chasing outcomes and start embodying them. You no longer say, I hope this happens. You begin to feel, this is already mine. That subtle shift changes everything. Your subconscious mind responds to what you accept as true. It does not argue or question, it simply takes your dominant beliefs and works to express them in your experience. If you repeatedly tell yourself a story of lack, fear, or limitation, your mind will find ways to make that story real. But if you begin to impress upon it a new belief, one of success, abundance, and certainty, it will just as faithfully work to bring that into form.